Here's Chief Meteorologist Tony Petrarca with your Pinpoint Weather 12 forecast.
All right, a lot to cover. Now, keep in mind that the worst of any strong wind gusts or thunderstorms really reserved for around this time tomorrow. So it's kind of late afternoon, especially early tomorrow evening around sunset and thereafter. No weather issues, obviously, today. Sunshine and hot, still holding on to sunshine and temperatures that are in the lower 90s. The waves building a little bit down at Easton Beach. Not too much of a wave problem right now, but the trend will be for the waves to be on the increase overnight tonight, especially Tuesday and even Wednesday. While Wednesday's a sunny day, there's no wind, rip currents are still going to be an issue. So at the beaches, building surf, high rip current risk tonight through all of Tuesday and Wednesday. Stay off the rocks and the jetties as the tropical storm is now off the Carolina coastline near Charleston, South Carolina, with winds of 70 miles per hour. Anticipated to become at least hurricane strength, Category 1 overnight tonight as it makes landfall. Here is southern New England. Now, impacts from this storm would be felt in the form of a tropical storm and not a hurricane. And even though the storm itself passes well to our west, out towards western Connecticut, western Mass, upstate New York, we still get some impacts with some wind and some scattered thunderstorms. So here's the latest from the National Hurricane Center. Winds at 70 miles per hour moving north, northeast at 16, so making landfall this evening across the Carolinas. And then racing, it's a rapidly moving storm in terms of its forward speed, so it doesn't stick around here too long. It's a late afternoon and early evening kind of a deal for tomorrow. The red line represents the center of the storm, but the storm itself is not a point on the map. It has, obviously, it has width to it, obviously. So even though it passes, a couple of hundred miles to our west, we get some impacts with some scattered thunderstorms and some gusting wind. Normally, when tropical systems pass well to our west, that's where most of the real heavy rain is located. So now we do get thunderstorms, we do get downpours tomorrow, but it's more scattered, it's not widespread. The strip of real heavy rain, look at this area in purple and yellow out across the Hudson Valley of New York. So typically it's usually along the track of the storm and to the left. That's why we're not in this real heavy rain. I think in some downpours we could pick up anywhere from 1 to 2 inches of rain over a short period of time. I think more so during the late afternoon and into the early evening hours. Now, as far as the potential for severe thunderstorms, we're at this category right in here, yellow, which is a slight risk of some strong thunderstorms. And the concern that I have in looking at some new information over the last couple of hours, some of these thunderstorms may have some rotation. So typically with a land-falling tropical system, especially ones that pass to our west, in the low levels of the atmosphere, you get a lot of wind shear. What's the deal with that? Well, quite simply, wind shear is just wind that changes direction and speed with height very rapidly. So wind blowing in one direction near the ground, and the upper levels of the atmosphere, it's blowing in a different direction with increasing wind speeds. And when that happens, you get rotation within the atmosphere. And what can happen is you can get this horizontal tube of rotating air high above our heads, which doesn't really make much of a difference at all. But sometimes in some of these stronger thunderstorms, that horizontal tube gets stretched, and you get some thunderstorms that rotate. Now, if this rotating air stays in the thunderstorm above our heads, it's no big deal. But sometimes this rotating air can make it to the ground. So quite simply, there is a low risk, but a risk nonetheless, that some thunderstorms may have rotation, and there could be some isolated weak tornadoes later tomorrow afternoon. You can see on the satellite and radar composite, you see the storm spinning across the Carolinas, and the anticipated track taking it inland overnight, mid-Atlantic tomorrow morning. And it's these bands of heavier rain right in here, some of these stronger thunderstorms, that's actually reserved for later tomorrow afternoon and early tomorrow evening. And that's when some of these thunderstorms could have some rotation. So slight chance, but a chance nonetheless. So for tomorrow morning, I don't see too much of an issue with rain or wind. Temperatures in the upper 70s to lower 80s. As we get deeper into the afternoon, the chances for some stronger thunderstorms, especially after 5 o'clock in the afternoon and evening, start to increase with temperatures topping out in the middle 80s. No surprise here with the beaches. Windy, scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially during the afternoon and evening. Rip current risk is a big issue both tomorrow as well as Wednesday. So there's your stormy weather on Tuesday, especially late day and early evening. We're back to quiet conditions on Wednesday, and the rest of the week looks fairly quiet with temperatures in the mid-80s. Shannon?
Tony, thanks. More coverage.